You bet. You bet.
It's up, I
So,
mean, it's up to you. You're the boss.
yeah, no, no. So let's get this started because we don't want to
Yeah.
waste everybody's time. And I already worked
Well,
up a
hi,
sweat.
everybody. I know. Well, no, it's a glow. You're working up a glow. That's part
um,
of what we're talking about.
yeah, so we've got Karen here, and I've known Karen through my husband, and our husbands play tennis together, right?
Ew, yeah. And that's actually been,
Boys.
it's been 10 years now. Did we meet 10 years ago?
Yeah, a long time ago, I
It might have
think.
been about, it might have been 8 years ago. Yeah, because Steve and I have been together about 11. So it might have been about eight.
Yeah, yeah. So, and Karen is a makeup artist, and she
Yep.
helps a lot of women to look prettier. So I'm not so pretty right now because I totally worked
No,
up the sweat.
it's,
I'm so
it's actually,
nervous because this
and
thing
it's
didn't
being,
work.
oh, I know it, but you know what? It's technology, and trust me, it's not the first. You should have seen last night. I was on a Zoom one, and my camera was off,
Oh,
and I
wow.
couldn't get the camera on. And I've done it on 5 other times this week, and I couldn't get my camera on. So technology does it. It's tricky.
So I wanted to talk to you about, I work with a lot of ladies who own their own business. So I do a
Yeah,
lot of business development. So I try to learn about my business and how to run it better. And now
yeah,
the landscape has really changed.
a
And
lot.
what I mean by that is that, we don't go out as much
Yeah,
and we don't have face-to-face meetings as much. And we
yeah.
do this thing called Zoom.
Hmm.
So what are your recommendations for us ladies when we go on Zoom meetings? And some of these Zoom meetings actually might be really important, right?
Absolutely. So you and I were messaging earlier, and this has actually been something that I've been learning through the past month and a week now. So
Mm-hmm.
this is new to all of us. So I think that we just have to remember that this is nothing that any of us had ever gone through before. So we're all just navigating our way through something that is really unknown. Now, when it comes to the visual that we're starting to have to deal with, like Zoom and Facebook and Instagram and all of these social mediums, it turns it into a little bit more of a visual medium because it's not just the voice or the texting anymore. And you and I were messaging a little bit earlier about doing a makeup lesson and what we should be doing and how we should be doing this today. And I've actually been doing quite a few of these in the last couple of weeks. And the one thing I'm finding, and it's really reminding me, is how individual we all are.
Oh,
So I think
wow. That's interesting. So
it's
tell me
it's
more about that.
well, it's really important to remind ourselves that we live our normal life and we go about our work and our jobs and our lives and our social lives as we normally would. And we are all individually different. We look different. We do different things for our image. We wear different clothes. We color our hair differently. We style our hair differently. Some people wear makeup. Some people don't wear makeup. So the problem is when you start going onto a platform like what we're seeing a lot with Instagram and doing these makeup tutorials and these makeup how-tos, it can be great for one or two people, but it loses all the people that maybe doesn't connect with that particular image. So I think the most important thing that we all need to remind ourselves of is we need to go in front of these cameras feeling the best that we can feel as the individual that we are.
I
So does that
totally
make
agree
sense?
with you. Yeah. Like, so I do these live events on Thursdays,
Mm-hmm.
and I find that like I go and wash my hair and I actually
Yeah.
blow dry it. And it's got
Mm-hmm.
it's coming really out of shape now because
Yeah.
I'm one of the lucky who have, lots of hair. So I
Beautiful.
do that and I put a little bit of makeup on. I'm not
Yeah.
not gonna say I'm really good at makeup, but I'm okay.
You look
And
beautiful. And what you've done tonight looks polished and natural and lovely. And that's what it's all about because that's almost, it's coming from a judging of ourselves way of saying that, saying, you don't know much about it, but you've done a beautiful job and you look perfect for on camera. You've made the effort, you look polished and you look professional and you look beautiful. So
well, thank
this,
you.
the one thing that my clients often say to me, even prior to this, when I'm doing one-on-one consultations with people or I'm meeting with people, and they say, oh, I'm probably doing this wrong, or I've been doing this the same way for 15 years. Well, it doesn't matter that you've been doing it the same way for 15 years. That actually might be the best way to enhance your eyes or the best way to wear your blush. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. Now, what I love what you just said about you blow dry your hair, you are actually making an effort. And that's exactly what we want people to think about. Now, it doesn't mean you have to go to a full blow dry if you've got long hair and that's not something you normally do, but you should probably pay a little bit of attention and do your hair, do something different, pay attention so it looks professional and it looks nice on camera. It's always nice to spend about 2 minutes before you connect online to take a peek at yourself. That is not vain. It is just making sure that that mirror that you're looking into as a camera is reflecting what you want to see. So I work in TV a lot. So the one thing I'm always looking at is flyaways. So when I'm doing
Yeah, you're right.
camera, I'm always really looking at the flyaways. And I'll tell you what, the Zoom and Insta Lives and all these fun online platforms love to show all of our little flyaways. So those are the little details that you can certainly pay attention to. But when it comes to your hair, hey, we're all moving through this hair catastrophe together. Some of us are owning the color that is coming out of our heads. Others are lucky enough and they can maybe use a box color. Well, and then there's some that, you know what, their hair color doesn't change. They just don't get any of the Arctic blonde or the gray hair. Just remember we're in this together. And when it comes to image, like for hair, there are things that you can get. So tomorrow I'm actually doing the noon show with CTV and I'm talking about different things that you can do for beauty at home. And so I just happen to have them on my desk for the segment tomorrow. I'm not, sales for anything, but there's all these different root cover products that you can get at Safeway and Superstore and Shoppers Drug Mart. So when you're doing your shopping for your essentials, you can actually buy root touch-up. So if you are somebody that your Arctic blonde is coming in or your gray is coming in, we're looking, the average person grows about this much a month. Yeah. So we're sitting at about this right now. Well, if we're another 2 months, we're going to be sitting at about that. So that's going to be going a little bit deeper into the hairline. For us lighter hair colored girls, we actually can't color our hair because it's blonde, it's hard. So these root touch sprays are really great things to use if you are uncomfortable with your image when you are going in front of the camera. And it's something that at a $10 price point when you're going grocery shopping, we also have to be mindful of our bank accounts right now because we're not working. But these are great things to get us through and gives you a little bit more of that comfort level with your hair. And it just, again, makes you think about that overall image. So instead of just looking at our face or, maybe looking at our wardrobe, it just gives you that final look at your hair as well. So those are little things that you can do in terms of being locked at home and we're not getting our hair done and doing those things like we normally would, right? So those are definitely things that I can recommend that you can pay attention to. And if it bothers you, you can certainly get a couple of little touch-up products to help.
Well, no, that's amazing. So Karen, I have seen you on TV and you look absolutely flawless. Oh, and well, I have seen you in person as well. And it's the same thing.
Absolutely flawless.
No, you are. And so my question to you is, your makeup is never heavy. It's always very soft, very light. Yeah. And even like that, it shows so nice on camera. So how can we achieve that look?
Okay, so that is a really great question. And so why I don't talk about general makeup looks is because we're all different. We all, some people will just wear lip gloss. Some people will wear a foundation, concealer, brow pencil, eyeshadow, mascara, lips. They'll wear the whole gamut. So for me, when it comes to presenting myself on a media level, such as the Instagrams and the Facebooks and the Zooms, for me, I want to look natural. Now, first of all, there's no product line that anybody has to buy. All makeup brands are great. So if you're somebody who loves your Maybelline from Shoppers Drug Mart, great. And if you're somebody who loves your Giorgio Armani that you get from Nordstrom, great. There's no makeup brand that is the end all be all. Now I try everything. I love makeup. I'm always,
of course, yeah.
Brand. But for me, when it comes to a basic professional polished image, when I'm doing something like this, I did a 5-minute face today. So this is a 5-minute makeup. So wow. This is just a mineral powder foundation. that took me probably all of 30 seconds to put on. And all I did is I dusted it all over my face. I don't have any concealer. I don't have anything else on my skin. I had hydrated, I had moisturized.
Of course,
And then
yes.
and then I put on just a touch of blush because I think everybody needs a little bit of color. When we're doing these online image presentations and meetings, we have to realize that the light is not always controlled. I'm lucky. I've got some studio lighting in my office, so I can kind of control my lighting.
I don't know
Just
if
like
I want to show my lighting.
no, you've got natural light.
No, I have
Natural
like
light.
3 lights on me.
Oh, you do? Well, you look great. I thought you were facing windows. So that's
I
actually
am
what I was going
in
to
front of my window, and then you've
Yeah.
been in my house, and then I've
I
got
have.
3 lights on me.
So what I was just going to say is what you've done is right. So if you are in a space that you can at all face a window, you want to be facing the window when you're looking into the camera, because what that light's going to do is that's going to blur your skin. So it's going to give you a
Yeah.
lot more of a softened look. Now, what's also important though is I like to make sure that people are adding blush, because adding a blush color just gives you a little bit more shape on your cheeks and just gives you that nice highlight on your face. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't have blush, you can use lipstick. You
Oh,
could use a lip gloss. So if you don't have it, take a little bit of a lipstick or a little bit of a lip gloss and put a little bit on the apple of your cheek. Here, I've got a little lipstick here. So what you can do is you can take a little bit of the lipstick on your finger.
yeah.
Just put a little bit on the apple of your cheek. And you see how it just gave me a little bit more of a little bit
Yeah.
more color and a little bit of a
Yeah.
light. So
Are you
all this is
supposed to
doing,
smile when you put that on?
that's a
They
great
say
question too. So,
sometimes.
yeah. So when you smile, what it does is it lifts to the apple of the cheek, and that's where you should apply the color.
Uh-huh.
So when you give yourself a little smile and you wink at yourself in the mirror or
I'm
in
sexy.
your camera, I'm sexy and I know it, and you just put a little bit right on the apple of your cheek. So even for a non-makeup, non-blush wear, this is a way of just elevating the cheek look without it being much or without even having to buy another product.
That's great.
Now, when it comes to the rest of the makeup, it's important to understand that everybody's different. Eyebrows are certainly a very big part of makeup and image these days, but some people have perfect eyebrows that you don't have to do anything to. Other people would have brows like me. I actually don't have much of a brow, so this is just a brow pencil that I put into my brow.
I would
So
never be
tonight,
able to tell that.
yeah, so this
It's
is just a brow
beautiful.
pencil. Thank you. And I only have a little bit of brow right here, and then
Mm-hmm.
I'm really, really, really blonde. So this is
Mm-hmm.
actually just a Maybelline pencil that I bought. It's a 2-pack, and I think they sell it for $4.98.
Wow.
So there you go. And it's a 2-pack that would last you 6 months. So when it comes to brows, just do what you would normally do. If you're somebody who doesn't normally do your brows and you're not interested in doing brows, don't bother. You don't have to go there. But if it's something that you actually want to try, it's worth it. Oh, hi, Wendy. Wendy just said gorgeous. She's a good friend of mine.
Yes.
And Edie was on, Edith as
Well,
well.
she's absolutely right.
Oh, Tanya. We're
You
getting a
are
few people
absolutely
that are not
gorgeous.
enough. Oh, well, we all are. It's our inner light. We're all individual.
Yeah.
So for me, and that's where I feel like I've needed to come from all the years of doing this and learning, is that it's about feeling good and feeling beautiful. It's not about what we're being told on the internet or watching Entertainment Tonight or who our favorite celebrity is. It's really, really challenging. And I think to navigate our way through that social image is something to really keep in mind when we're presenting ourselves right now, because really this is the corporate version of us at this time in our world. So again, when it comes to these points in your face and makeup, I didn't want to do a general makeup today because it does really generalize and it doesn't necessarily help people as much as talking about the steps that you can take, and then people will naturally gravitate towards the parts that actually interest them or would work for them. So
Exactly.
when it comes to eyes, Judith, I think a big thing, and you tell me this, like you and I think are pretty connecting people. Like we are like passion, we connect. And I think you can agree with me that you connect through the eyes. Like that's how you
Absolutely.
would, when I talk to
looking people's eyes when you're talking to them, and yeah, and you get a feeling and you see that sparkle, and sometimes that makeup gives that extra sparkle, right?
Absolutely. And it's where we connect. So even on this, I've been staring at you this whole time and I'm looking at your
And so have
eyes.
I.
Yeah. So
Dude,
when it comes to
I just
what's that?
love how you do your makeup, because it's just like
Okay.
flawless to me.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I did. So this is one color. It is a taupey brown, and most people can wear a taupey brown eyeshadow. All brands carry a taupe brown. All brands. So it doesn't matter, you know, what if you're going to Shoppers or if you're going to Superstore to get your groceries, you can find a nice taupey brown eyeshadow. And what I did is I just put it all over my eyelid. A great way to explain makeup, because everybody has an eyelid, right? Everybody has a different shape of eyelid. So you're following your natural structure. So I just apply it all over my eyelid, and then I just blend it into the crease. Now, anybody can do this. It doesn't matter if you have a really small or barely have an eyelid. And you can do this if you have a really, really large eyelid. The key is you're taking it from corner to corner, and then you're blending it into that crease. So that took me, it took me literally probably a minute and a half to do both eyes. Then I took a smaller brush and I just dusted that same eyeshadow right underneath my eyes. And that was it. Then I put on some mascara.
So I have a question about eyeshadow.
Yes, please.
And
if anybody else has a question too, just type away. We will answer.
Exactly. So for eyeshadow, I struggle with it. So I have done a little bit of a lighter in the corner and a bit of a gold. It doesn't give it through, but a gold on top on the side there. So is that so is that the trick to make your eyes a little bit pop, a little bit bigger? Is that it?
You have actually nailed it. So tonight, what I wanted to do, I specifically just about half an hour ago did a 5-minute makeup. So after dinner, I slipped in the bathroom and I was under 5 minutes from start to finish, did my makeup. Now, when I do TV makeup, it's a little bit different. So this I'm seeing a little more social. We're having, you know, a nice glass of wine, and it's definitely a little bit more casual. But when I'm doing, say, the news or doing more of a news broadcast, I like to do what you did. And that is have a lighter color applied all over the eyelid, and then a brighter or darker or funner color in the outer corners applied just to give that shape and that lift of the eye. So what you've done so right, Judith, is you've actually done a makeup that not only is giving your eye great shape, because you're giving a nice flow of color from a light to a dark, but what happens is light on the eyelid makes your eyes look bigger.
I see.
So the way I've done my makeup, I would do on Zoom calls for a nice polished professional look, or for a nice, you know, casual professional look. But when I go on camera, or if I'm in studio, or when I am doing the news segments from my office, I am doing what you've done. And I'm just seeing what eyeshadows I have here right now. This is the Charlotte Tilbury one I was playing with the other day. And just to kind of give you an idea, so I put this.
Oh, those are beautiful.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
So I put this light one all over my eyelid, and then I kind of played with it, and I mixed the three in my outer corner, but I did something very similar to you. Now, what's great is that works for all eyelids as well. So if you're somebody who has, I call it real estate, if you've got a lot of eyelid real estate, you can do a lot with that. But
I love it. Eyelid real estate.
Eyelid real estate. I've got room to work and, you know, space to play with. It's fine. But this technique also works for people with a smaller eyelid, because what you're doing is you're still focusing on what is light and bright, and then funner color or dark or gold or bronze, any kind of color that you want on the outer corner.
Okay, another question about eyeshadow. So I have a little bit of a green in my eyes.
Beautiful.
So they tell me that sometimes it's good to use purple, because it brings
Mm-hmm.
out the green.
Sure
So what
does.
it does? Okay, so what other colors
Yes.
would you recommend? And maybe from
So
other like for blue eyes, or because this
great
is me now,
question.
but everybody's different, right?
Absolutely. Great question. So when it comes to green eyes, they do say purples are a really great color to put on your eyes. Actually, some deep greens are actually really nice. Some of
Oh,
those
okay.
emeralds as
I've never
well.
tried that, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
try
and
that.
those are really fun ways to kind of give some vibrancy to the eyes and help you bring your eye color out as well. But what is also great, really for everybody, is finding those neutral tones that have that pink undertone. So if you're going to use a brown or some kind of neutral palette, you want it to be more of that purpley undertone. So browns can either look a little bit more pink or a little bit more gray yellow, and you want it to be a little bit more on that purpley side. Now, in saying that, I also like to use illuminating colors because illuminating colors are
Okay.
brightening. So what illuminating is, you can have matte colors, so just like a really flat matte color. You can have colors that have a lot of sparkle, and sparkle's fun and it's great. Not the most professional to have sparkles all falling down here,
Yes.
which happens when you have chunks of sparkle in your with your eyeshadow.
Yeah.
But what I do really like is illumination. And what illumination is a color that you put on and the light is just reflected.
I see.
Now, what that does, it reflects light, so it's automatically brightening. Now, if you have blue eyes, any color of brown or those taupey colors, and even going into the kind of khaki greens, those can be really beautiful on blue eyes as well.
You
But the
have
most
you have
important,
blue eyes, right?
I do. Some people would call them green, some people call them blue. I
Okay.
call them blue with gold center. Like I've got gold flecks. The one thing I just like to tell people is that there is also no rule. So if you really, really love a color, then wear it because you're going to feel confident in it. But you need to try it and see if it works for yourself. So when it comes to eyeshadow, yes, there's colors that will potentially bring out your eye color more than others. If you have brown eyes, like a deep brown, any color, so those greens and blues and purples and anything that you have on, oh, I've got Vered on here. She's a makeup artist. She will either agree or disagree with me.
Oh,
She's a
that's
good friend and makeup
awesome.
artist.
You
And
got
so
some of the tradespeople coming.
yeah, so she would, agree probably with me, is that, you want to be using those colors that are going to make your eyes look brighter. Hi, Baron. So when it comes to wearing some of these colors, you need to try it and see what works. So if you have brown eyes, just because you have brown eyes and wearing like a beautiful emerald green looks great because it's great for eye color, well, that might be too bold for you. So you need to work with what your comfort level is as well. And that's the tricky thing with makeup, is that you need to kind of figure out what your comfort zone is, and you have to try things to see if you like it. Hi, Britt, or is that Anthony or Britt? And Lindsay's here too. So it's just important to try it. And when you're doing these Zoom meetings, like I was saying, it's important to 5 minutes before sit down in the light that you're going to be speaking at and take a picture, take a peek at yourself on camera and see what you look like. Again, it's not vain, it's actually looking at what your image is. And if you're going to be going on to a Zoom meeting with colleagues, it's important to make sure that you're portraying the image that is you, but it's also polished and professional, and you're not in your pajamas. You have washed your hair. You maybe blow dried your hair today.
You
So
can
you
have your
did all those
pajamas in
things.
the bottom.
Well, you can, but I'm starting to hear, Alexis, I'm starting to hear a lot of stories about people standing up and not having the appropriate attire or half. So personally, I think that that's a little bit of a daring thing. I think if you're going to be going on camera, whether it's personal or for hello, if it's personal or if it's professional, I think you need to dress. I don't know if anybody out there is watching the Pluto dog videos, but I've absolutely fallen in love with them. And Pluto reminds people to put their button pants on a little bit more often, because we're at home and we're comfortable. But Alexis actually would be a great person, Alexis Hans, She's a stylist extraordinaire out of Toronto. And she'd be the first to say too, you know, you need to be comfortable, but you also need to be putting those clothes on that make you feel good. Because when you sit down in front of, you know, your audience, whether it is one colleague or you're meeting with 20 people on a Zoom meeting, you feel it when you're sitting in your pajama bottoms. But if you put on a cute pencil skirt and a cute little blouse,
You
you
actually
know
want to
that you
show
can,
off, right? A little
that's
bit.
right. So Alexis says thumbs up. So, and a great example, Judith, of this is when we're on a photo shoot, we quite often, if we're just shooting, let's say the top half, so you're just seeing waist up, a lot of women will still choose to wear heels. And the reason why, it's not that we're seeing the heels, is that it changes your entire posture. It makes you feel more
I
confident.
totally
It makes
agree.
you look more confident.
Yeah.
So when it comes to
Yeah.
these Zoom meetings, if you're coming in wearing your pajama bottoms, you're not feeling totally done. So people need to give that entire professional look coming into their meetings, and it will truly make you feel better and look better.
Don't you think that when this is going to be over, every women are just going to be strutting on the street and they're just going to love putting on their best clothes ever?
Oh, I think it's spring too. So if everybody here that's been watching is from Canada, I think everybody's just ready to be, you know, living outside again. So it's just, I think we're all going to be wanting to feel our best and look our best. And some people are joking, you're either gonna come out healthier or you're gonna come out a little more sluggish, one of the two out of this you know, time locked in our house. But I can admit, I'm not doing my full makeup every day. I'm not doing my full hair every day. I am wearing comfortable clothes, but I am still doing a lot of on-camera stuff. So I'm really trying to make the effort to do that. I'm exercising every single day. That makes such a huge difference with how we feel. You know, if in another month from now, you're not moving your body, you're not eating well, you're not drinking water. I mean, we're drinking a little more wine these days. But you know what? You get in front of the camera and then you don't feel as good about yourself either. So it's really important to take all those steps every day to be healthy. We need to be moving our bodies. We need to be eating well. We need to treat ourselves as well as we can while we're locked in.
I totally agree with you. So in our world, so if I go out on a job, I do a lot of Zoom meetings. So I'm part of the chamber peer mentoring group. So, you know, I like to look good when I meet with those people because they are my peers. But then I'm still on the broom sometimes. And then for us right now, safety is number one. So what you see now is gone because my hair is going to be up, you know, because you don't want to be touching your face and then I have a mask on and I have my glasses on. They are not safety glasses. I do have glasses, but it's good to have them on because, you know, any hole right now, it needs to be kind of covered. So I'm really excited to talk about these things because I learned so much from you already in the short little time that we talked. And then I also discovered a little, I don't know if you probably know this, but not a lot of people do, but on Zoom, there's actually a button on the camera that will, you know, brighten your look up a little bit. And I love that button.
Yeah, we love filters, or we love our Joe. We have Joe from YYC Video that came on. In fact, one of the very first onlines that I did, I had one of my camera friends send me a note and said, "Oh, hey Karen, I saw you just did a video and I can tell you lit it. So here's a couple things that you could do to soften the light and to do all this," because we're all trying to look our best. Now, let's be honest, we love our filters, but when it comes to professional meetings, I think it's important to portray ourselves. You know what?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And so you certainly can, but I wouldn't be blurring it out all too much. Oh, my brother just came on.
I know, I see that. That's awesome. Hi, Gary.
So it's not something that you want to try and alter. That's not what we're looking for. I think, especially in professional meetings, you want to come into it feeling confident and looking our best. And remembering that we're all at home. So we're working with the lighting we have, we're working with the technology we have. And again, we're all navigating our way through this. This is nothing that we've ever done before. And we're all trying to figure out as an individual, as business owners, what we should be doing. And it's together that we're figuring it out. So again, for all of your colleagues, just helping them to understand that feeling better coming into any of those meetings, it's just like going into a meeting prepared. If you go in and actually know what you're talking about, hello Estee Lauder Canada, if you know what you're actually talking about, thank you, Vered, then you feel better in a meeting. So it's the same thing about going in feeling the best about yourself. You've taken care of your skin, you've blow dried your hair, you've put your makeup on, you've got fully dressed. You're not just wearing, you know, like a nice top and pajama bottoms. You need to feel good. So it's really the same platform for everything that we do. When you go into something prepared, you're going to feel more confident and look more
Yeah,
confident.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I think you know this, but like I'm a huge JLo fan, like
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I like about her is that now she, ever since she's been with A-Rod, she
Yeah.
has come a little bit more out of her shell. So
Yeah.
I was watching a video that A-Rod did, and she was doing her nail, and it was the cutest thing. And he goes like, "So honey, how long did that take you?" And she's like, "Oh my God, 8 hours. And I'm never, ever going to tell my people again to hurry up." So it's very interesting. I think a lot about you because you are the closest person to me that I kind of know in this industry. And I
Yeah.
think a lot about you. Like, how do you see this changing your industry a little bit?
This is, I mean, it's changing all industries. I think it's been really fascinating to see how fast the industries were able to kind of parlay their visual mediums. I mean, obviously radio is going to be a little bit different.
Yes.
It's still impacted. I mean, we now have the VJs and DJs in the morning that are not even in the same studio doing a show together. They're in two separate studios. So certainly media has changed. You know, it's been interesting. I think you see the challenges if you watch shows like the Jimmy Fallon show or
Yeah.
Kimmel or
I watched
you know,
Saturday Night
Ryan and
Live.
Kelly.
I love
Saturday,
Saturday
oh
Night
yeah,
Live as well. And that
yeah,
was like just so awkward in a way.
yeah,
And also I wanted to commend them because they, you know, these people's job is to entertain us. And that's what
absolutely,
they were trying to do, right? They were trying to do their
yeah,
job. And some were great and some were not so
yeah,
great. And it just was
yeah,
very interesting. Like I just look at these things and see how things are changing,
yeah,
and also I see the opportunities that some people are taking, like Jimmy Fallon. Like Jimmy
yeah,
Fallon now, like we know his life. We know his
yeah,
daughters. His
yeah,
wife is the
absolutely.
taking the shots and
The
everything.
shots,
So
yeah,
I think it's amazing,
and
you
you're in
know?
their homes, and you're in their homes.
Yeah.
So I think it's changed. Do I think it's going to change permanently? No. I think that, I mean, who knows how long it's going to be, you know, that we are going through this. But, you know, shows like the Marilyn show that I work with,
Yeah, that you're doing.
came,
Yeah.
they finally came back this week. So Marilyn started doing Marilyn Dennis Does a Podcast, which was a great way for them to kind of make that transition in this difficult time because it's a
Yeah.
studio show. And now she is starting to do some shows, and it is bringing some of the specialists from their homes into this new concept. Other shows have jumped on their way of having a new platform. And so again, there's no right or wrong, just like what we've been talking about from the beginning. It's just figuring out what works for either you as an individual, you as a small business owner, or something such a large scale as like Kelly and Ryan. Like they were one of the first ones, and they were doing it with or they are doing it, Ryan in LA, Kelly in New York with all the call-ins. So for me, it's fascinating to see that they are still able to do this. I love seeing the rawness of them. I mean, that side for me
Yeah,
is,
absolutely.
you are
Yeah.
getting a little bit more of a real glimpse into what these people look like or who they are, and not that super polished look that you have to realize. Like, people, I will do somebody's makeup and they'll say, oh, well, how do I make it last all day? And I say, well, I do a good makeup that will last a really long time, but that's why I have a job. That's why when I'm on set for 12 hours, makeup requires touch-ups. It requires the perfection to be maintained. And these shows are about perfection. So you mentioned Jennifer Lopez. There's nobody more polished and more done and more
Oh
work
my
done
God, yeah.
than her. And
Absolutely.
she
Yeah.
is so beautiful, but she is definitely one of the most done people. So when you see her raw without makeup, it's just a completely different thing.
It is, but
So
I think she's so beautiful from the inside that
yeah.
I actually love seeing her without the makeup. I love
Oh, I
seeing
do
her with
too.
her
Yeah.
kids, and
Yeah.
just the natural, and I think she likes the naturalness too. And
Yeah.
then, like, it's almost like she's two-person to me, because then she
Yeah.
goes like all the way to the other side and like
Well,
bling it out.
yeah. And that's an alter ego for a lot of these people.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised, like, even, on some sets, I mean, some people are, exactly what you see in front of the camera as they are behind the camera. Some people are the same, and others are completely different. So,
Yeah.
to realize that sometimes these shows we're watching, that is a personality, that is a character, that is an actor. You watch some of these shows, you realize that most of them came from an acting background. So it's interesting because that means they're coming from an acting platform. So if you expect their personality to be like that when you meet them on the streets, probably not.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're seeing a little bit of a different side of people too, we're coming from home. But it's more, I think we're still seeing the persona that they want us to see. It's more the visual medium that's changing because they just don't
Yeah.
have that team around them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it
Yeah.
will come back. I think it will come back. I mean, we come from, my industry has been around for forever. And, I feel like I'm still a really valuable part of that industry, and my role is a valuable part in that industry. So I'd like to think that all of us makeup artists and hairstylists and beauty specialists and wardrobe stylists and everybody, that when we come out of this, that we'll be right back to work and helping people look beautiful and helping people feel beautiful, just like we're trying to do today. And people just need to work on that at home.
I know. I am so fortunate to know you and to have this chat with
And
you.
I'm fortunate to know you.
Thank you. But like, honestly, because you're a wealth of not only knowledge in what you do, you're so passionate about it. And then also you just can talk at a different level. You can talk to the person, and you had mentioned that, everybody is different. And I totally
Everybody.
agree with that. I totally agree with that. And everybody looks different, everybody feels different. So to bring that
Yeah.
out, I know I love when you did my makeup. So on our team page, it's that picture
Yeah.
that you did them when I had that photo shoot with you guys.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was your headshot. And
Yeah.
again, I'd like to think, you were definitely glammed that day, but it was a good professional beauty shot of you.
But I didn't feel like it was heavy. I didn't
Yeah.
feel like that it was too much at all. Like,
Yeah.
it was just, for me, it was almost, yeah, it was for a photo, but I also
Yeah.
felt like this could be an everyday comfortable thing for me,
Absolutely.
So I loved it. I really did. And it was a great day. And then
So
I
glad.
saw some stuff after. So this is just everybody who's listening right now. So I showed up with like a really colorful dress, and you guys were really nice and everything. But then I saw some things after that. It's not really good actually for a photo shoot. You should more be like one color. So is that true?
So, not
No?
necessarily, it
Okay.
depends, it depends on the person. It depends on the backdrop you're shooting on. It depends on, what is your professional image? Where is this going to be seen? What is your industry? what is the cut of what you're wearing. So my current headshot right now that I just did 2 months ago, I'm wearing black, but the one before that, it's striped with like a blue and white stripe with like a floral through it. So, and I love that shot, but it was perfect for the lighting. It was perfect for the backdrop. It was perfect for what I was doing. Or sorry, it was perfect for what that full image was. But again, I mean, that's where sometimes you have to try it. You're gonna, when it comes to headshots, sometimes you'll take a look at your images and you'll go, wow, I thought that would have been the perfect top or the perfect outfit, and it didn't work. And then the opposite, you might have something that you don't really like, but it translates really beautiful on camera. That's actually part of like Alexis, who was on earlier. I mean, she is amazing at just saying, you need to try this and see it on camera. She actually gave me a tip years ago, so I don't think she's on here, but she told me years ago, when you're trying to find, getting an outfit together for the show, take a picture of yourself on camera, because the camera is going to give you a very similar image to the camera that you're going to see. Now, headshots are different than going on live camera and moving around, but that was really great advice, because it was taking the vision away of what you look at in the mirror and seeing it a little bit differently. And that's basically what a photo shoot is.
Yeah. So we have actually some questions, believe it or not.
Great, love it.
And we have this from Elsie Swatsky. Do I say that right?
Lindsay.
Yeah, Lindsay. Okay, so Lindsay is asking, how do you get out of your makeup rut? So if you can answer that. Out of your makeup rut.
Great question. So to get out of your makeup rut, I always recommend trying to buy 3 new things in your makeup bag. Now, you can choose what those 3 things are, because again, everybody has a different makeup routine, but I love introducing a new blush. I love introducing a new lip color, and that could be a lipstick, a lip stain, a lip gloss, and a new eyeshadow palette.
Okay.
Now, why I like to recommend those 3. Now, those might not be items that everybody wears, but if you are a full makeup wearer, lips is something that you can change. It is a fun piece of the makeup bag that you can really buy, and if you don't love it and it fails for you, you get rid of it, you try something else. But it's a great way to try something new and try something different. Blush, I love. So I actually sat down tonight 5 minutes before, turned on my camera, looked, and realized I need a little bit more blush. So I actually went and got my blush, and I sat, it was the only thing I changed, and I actually put a little bit more blush on the camera sitting here.
Okay.
So blush changes your face. Now, why I think it's so great to get out of your rut is it's what can give you energy. If you're not feeling well, how do you know if you're, okay. So Lindsay just asked another question. She asked, how do you know?
I can show you now. Oh, I see.
Oh, I love it.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'm learning something new here every time.
Okay. So Lindsay's question is, how do you know if you're summer or winter? And I'm going to pull everything together here. So choosing a blush, there's also blush palettes. So you can get multiple shades. So Lindsay asking if you're winter, spring, summer, that's actually, we don't really look at skin so much in the seasons as we do more as skin undertones. We see warm undertones and cool undertones. So you might be somebody that the pinks look nicer on you, or you feel better in pinks. Or maybe you're somebody who feels better in corals and it looks better on your skin tone. What a great way to introduce a new blush is by getting what I call a neutral rose undertone blush. Now, if anybody has questions, you can DM me. I can give you like 10 different brands and colors that are out there in blushes. But what a neutral rose undertone blush is it's basically, it's similar to what I'm wearing right now, really, is it gives you a flush of color on your cheeks. It's not adding that pink. It's not adding that coral. It's adding a lift and life to your cheeks. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, what's great about buying a blush palette that maybe has 2 or 3 colors in it is you can try those colors and see which one you like the best. And that's a great way to get yourself out of your rut, because you're going to try something a little bit different and try some new colors. When it comes to eyeshadow, I like palettes as well, because there's always going to be a color you like better than the others. And there's probably going to be a color that you're not going to touch at all. Super common, especially if you buy a palette.
Oh, absolutely. I have these palettes
shades
that, yeah, I don't touch any color because it's not my style, but the rest of it is so good. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the other thing. If you are on a budget right now and you are somebody that actually owns makeup, what I have always, this has kind of been a lesson thing I've done. I've told people, I want you to go through your makeup bag. And I want you to piece everything together. So I want you to get your eyeshadows, your cheek colors, your lips, and I want you to start using everything in your makeup bag. So you on a Monday, we're at home. If you know what Monday, if you know what day of the week it is, it's Monday, right? Because I know I'm getting confused. But it's Monday. You use one eyeshadow, you use one blush, and then you put it into a little basket, and that is now gone for the week. So now you have to use another eyeshadow palette or an eyeshadow or a blush. So this works for people that actually have makeup, but it's a way of forcing you to use all the makeup that you have in your makeup bag. And it's going to force you to, at that point, eliminate the colors that you don't really like and that you're not going to wear.
Awesome.
And it gets you out of
great
your rut.
advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I've learned so much from you.
Last one.
Yeah, so well, I think coming to my next Zoom meetings, I'm just gonna look so much better, and I think I'm gonna mix it up. I really like that advice, you know, just to try anything. Like sometimes when I was younger, I was a little bit more adventurous, obviously, and I really liked the dark blue. I really liked the dark blue that had a little bit of shimmer in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so maybe I'll, you know, hey, why not try it? You know?
Well, that's it, because you just never know when you have something in your little makeup bag that you forgot you had, and you, oh gosh, I forgot I had this color. I love it, and it could be your new favorite color.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But you don't know till you get into it, because we do, as Lindsay was asking, like getting out of your rut, because we're used to using the same thing over and over and all the time. So by actually pushing yourself and using what you have, and again, this is assuming you have it. I have some clients that will show up for a makeup lesson and they will walk in with a lip balm, and that's all they own. And then that is fine. So then getting out of your makeup rut, well, perhaps that means you get 3 new things, like an eyeshadow palette or a new mascara if you've never worn eyeshadow, wearing a new blush color and a new lip color. You know, there's lots of ways to kind of push yourself out of your rut. And keep in mind too that, like I said earlier, it's not wrong because you've been doing it for a long time, but there's ways that you can update your look.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So guess what? We've been almost here for an hour, because Instagram is telling me that we've got like a minute left.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for having me.
So I just want to say, thank you so much for coming on this live with me. I really, really enjoyed it. I learned a lot. And I'm really hoping that when we come all out of this, then we can actually have soup together, rather me sending it to you.
Oh my gosh, and you make the best soup, Judith. I love it. I just want to say hi, Cara. I haven't seen Cara in so long, and she just joined. See, this is the best part.
I'm so sorry.
With people and see names, but well, maybe we can do it again. But you're the best, Judith. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I hope that was helpful.
Thank you for coming and joining me
with your colleagues. Yeah.
Okay, I will. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I hope you're enjoying the wine.
Cheers. I am. Look at this.
Cheers.
Bye, Karen.
Have a good night. Bye,
You
everybody.
too. Bye.
Have a good night.